جايين من كل مكان للصويرة زينة البلدان زوروا نرجع فرحان.
I would like to wish to all of you a good week. All year we wait for this Parsha of Balak. This Parsha that there was a non-Jew prophet, Balak, that he was a big prophet like Moshe Rabbeinu, and he was so jealous of them, and he couldn't understand why Hashem he choose them more than any nation. So he wanted to curse them, but Hashem will not let him curse them. And he was laughing. He said, the Jews, how it's possible that they don't have that they have to keep nidar, they keep separation. From where they have this strength? And every time they have a relationship, Hashem he take care of them. Through the sperm, he put there a holy neshama, a holy soul. Thus Hashem has nothing to do, just to look at the sperms of the Jews. I mean, and all this. And at the end, he said, well, Ma tovo alecha Yaakov. I am amazed about you. I'm crazy about you. You're the best. You and your Torah. And he started to talk so good things. But at the end, he gave a bad advice to Balak about the Jews. And he said to Balak, you know, as long as the Jews keep nida, they keep their separation from the woman, and they don't have the forbidden relationship, you can never beat them. You know what? I give you an advice. Try to push them to do the same with women, with Moaviot. Try to do something. You know, they are in the desert for 40 years, and they need the talit. They need to do they need the wool to do the talis. So send women to do business with them, and then those women, they will try to give them invite to do sin with them, and then God will be very, very, very angry against the Jews. He will finish with them. Elohim shel Elo shoni zimau. You know, their God, he don't like bad relationship. He like that things will be kosher. So try to do this, and then you will see Hashem will punish them. Well, so my friend, this is the parasha of Balak. Now the question is, how the Jews they are strong. So I forgot to tell you. So unfortunately, the Jews, they were weak. When those Moavites, those women, they came to sell them, you know, the wool to do talis with it. So they push them with their eyes, they give them some wine to drink, and then afterward they did bad things, and Hashem was very angry against them. But now, my question today is, how can we avoid all this? I mean, you know, today, in our generation, wherever you go, you cannot avoid not to see bad things. I mean, it's impossible. I mean, you know, the fashion today is short, women are not well dressed, Men too, they're not well dressed, wherever you go, there is, especially in hot, when the weather is warm, when you go to any country, people there are not well dressed. How can we avoid? I mean, you go to the airport, you want to travel somewhere. I mean, it's impossible. I mean, you have to be blind not to see all this. So how can we avoid all this? I mean, on one hand, Hashem, He forbid us to see what we should not see. We are not allowed to do things that without being married. So, and today we live in a generation with internet, with iPad, with bad films. I mean, we live in a generation very, 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 very bad. And we are very weak. And how can we avoid ourselves? We see today that Hashem, He told us that we have to remember what Bilam and Balak did to the Jews for this idea. My friend, the question is why Hashem, you want us to remember always what Bilam did to the Jews about the advice and the idea that he gave to Balak. If you want that the God will punish the Jews, send them women. And we do sin with them, then he will punish them. And the Torah says we never should forget this. Why? You know what the reason why? Because his advice, we look at it today. The advice that Bilam gave to Balak about women, it's an advice that unfortunately today it works well. I mean the atmosphere where we live today, the influence of this today is not easy. It's not easy. It's you buy a newspaper. You have to be careful what you see. Wherever you go out. I remember one day I was in Buenos Aires, and I was waiting, the traffic light, and suddenly a group of women, very, very bad dressed, they came all over, and I had to close my eyes. I had to close my eyes. And one day, it's not my fault, but today we live in a generation that there is a big Sahara. A lot of women came to ask me, Rabbi, give a good bracha for my husband. My husband, he work here, work there, that he will not feel fair with a woman that they're around here, there, where you work. And I understand. So how can we take care of ourselves to avoid all this? Of course, one thing is sure, is when you want the protection of Hashem, you will get it. But how can you get that protection of Hashem? Only if Hashem see that really you don't want to see that. You don't want to do that. So Hashem will help you. But if you don't care, so Hashem doesn't care about you, will not help you. And today we live in a generation that wherever you go, it's impossible not to see what you should not see. It's impossible. You go to a wedding, you go to a chuppah, you go to a bar mitzvah, you go to the airport. Wherever you go, sometimes in the plane, you see it. Sometimes in the plane there is bad films in the plane, and even that you don't want to see the film, but sometimes you stand up and suddenly you see, the video or something bad. What can you do? But Baruch Hashem, the most important is that if you take care of yourself, Hashem will help you. For we, the men, Baruch Hashem, we have talents. The talit helped a lot. Every time when I feel myself weak, when I look at my talit, and that reminds me there is God. That reminds me there is mitzvah to do. You have to be careful. You have to do always Shema Israel, Kriyat Shema. It's very, very important, Shema Israel. Shema Israel that help you not to make your eyes clear, holy, and that Hashem will help you to avoid all bad things. I mean, if really you look to avoid and you see what you should not see, so Hashem will forgive you because it's not your fault. But if you look to see, that is a problem. You know, there was a man, he's my doctor, and my doctor, when he because he become a doctor, he used to go to the hotel, to the hospital, you know, as to learn to be a doctor, you know, as a training, to train. So they used to give him the night. And because he keeps Shabbat, so they give him Saturday night. Saturday night and Sunday. So one night he said, and he was my student, Baruch Hashem, he did Teshuvah with me. And he told me that one morning he came, he told me, Rabbi David, Baruch Hashem, I didn't do the sin. I said, what happened? He said, when I was in the hospital, and about 2 o'clock at night, there was a lady, she called me, a lady that, unfortunately, she took my hand, and it's like she wanted to force me to do what I should not do. And I didn't know what, of course, on one hand, Baruch Hashem, I am married, I have a woman, I have a wife, and besides this, I keep a religion, I keep nida, and I didn't see Hasu Shalom. But on the other hand, she took me very strong toward her body, and then started to have bad thoughts. The only way to do is to jump out of the window because she was standing near, she gave her back near to the door, so I cannot run away from the door. And I was worried that she would scream, so I jumped out of the window 2 stories. And she was worried that I died, so she started to tell me, she's like, she was worried that I died. But the next morning when she saw me again, she said, why you did that? I said, well, because you are in the hospital, and I am married, and I cannot do that. So she told him, okay, I'm sorry. When I saw you jumping, and then I saw you standing up and walking, I saw that really you are a religious man. So you see, when he told me that story, I took him and gave him a hug. I said, Baruch Hashem, but you put your life at risk. He said, yes, I put my physical life at risk, but I didn't want to risk my spiritual life if I would do something with that woman. So now the question is, how we can avoid all this? Well, the only answer is, of course, you have to see to Shema Israel. The Shema Israel that we see, that we say every day, that help you. That it's a Torah. Torah protects. The Torah protects you. I would like just to tell you something. There is something that is very important for me to tell you. That Bilam, when he saw the Jews around the Shabbos tables, he saw the Jews, the education that they give to the children. He saw each tent, each family are together. The father, the mother, teaching the children Torah. That Bilam realized that this nation, no one can destroy this nation. So on one hand, he was very proud to see a nation that they beat the Sarah, a nation that for them there is tzniut, they don't do bad things. Each family with the father, the mother, the children, each family, they don't, hashvi shalom, God forbid, they don't do bad things with others. Each family, it's like each family has a mark. It's like when you have it's like you know what it is. God forbid, when a woman go with two men and she has a baby, is a bastard. It's because it's mixed with two kind of sperm. I mean, or if you have a Rolls Royce, a nice car, Rolls Royce, and this Rolls Royce, there is only all the equipment of the Rolls Royce. It's a Rolls Royce. I mean, there is no there another mark of another car. Otherwise, it will not be a Rolls Royce. So the Jewish people, they do what they can do to keep their family clean. The family clean. And that is not easy. And that's what Bilam, he couldn't understand this, so he was amazed. He was on one hand he was proud, but the other hand he was jealous. So he wanted to hurt the Jews by giving to Balak a bad advice. Those Jews, no one can touch them, no one can beat them if they carry on the way they live. So, if you know that God will punish them, send them women. If they go out with more women that they are not Jewish and they are nida and they will no mikveh, so Hashem will punish them. Unfortunately, that's what Balak did, and Bilam won his idea, and Hashem punished the Jews at that time. It's a lesson for generation, that if we want to be a holy nation, you have to be careful. Everything that it comes to, God forbid, to relationship between man and woman, if it's not kosher. Look at the way we get married. The man said to the wife, "Hare at mikudeshit li." When they got married under the chuppah, he said, "You are my wife. You are my holy wife. That our life, it will be only according to Jewish law and according to the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu." A Jewish home, it's like a temple. It's like the Holy Temple. And the Holy Temple was destroyed. It was burned. As long as there is peace between a man and a woman, and both of them, they live together well. So God is their neighbor. God lives with them. Ish Isha. And the middle of Ish Isha, there is the name of God, Yud K. But if, God forbid, the man and the woman, they are not in peace, so Hashem, Yud K, Hashem, he separates his name from the Ish Isha, and then it remains Ish. And then there is fire in the house. And that's it, finished. And then in the end, the man he gives to his wife the get. The get, that means it's a complete separation. I'm not with you anymore. And the Beit HaMikdash cry for him. Because a man or woman, when there is peace between them, it's like the home become like the house of Beit HaMikdash, like the temple, the holy temple. But otherwise, if there is fight between them, so Hashem, he leave the house, and that is the end, finished. And this is, my friend, this is something that we have to learn. And that was, I think, that was the idea. That was the idea that Bilam HaRasha, when he saw the Jewish home, he saw the Shekhinah, he saw the holy name of Hashem in each house. So he said to Balak, as long as those houses are holy and the name of God and that God is there and there, reside with them and live with them, you will never, no one can destroy them. The only way to destroy them, that they have to separate them, to do a bad relationship with others. And then you will see that if it's not holy, the name of God will not be there, and then it will be the end of them. You know, my friend, my father, Alav Shalom, when he wanted to send me to the yeshiva, I was 10 years old. One night, he said to my mother, what about David? Now he's 10 years old, we have to send him to the yeshiva, to France. I was in Morocco. At the time, there was no plane. If I have to travel, it will take me 5-6 days from Morocco to France. And my mother, it was hard for her to say yes or no. But at the end, Hashem, my mother, she was praying Hashem that my father, he will not push her. And at the end, my mother, she said to my father, okay, do as you want. So I was asking a question myself, how did my mother, that she loved us so much, how I understand my father, but my mother, how can she separate herself from me? I was 10 years old. I mean, how can she do that? How did she listen to my father? How my father, he arrived to persuade her to send me away? How? You know why? Because my father always respected my mother. Always respected my mother. He was so nice to her. He used to call her he respected her so much, he never called her by her name. Always he gave her names of nice fruit, nice cakes. He used to call her my cake, he was so nice to her. So because he was so nice to her, so my mother, she couldn't refuse to my father. She couldn't refuse him. She couldn't refuse him. Look, my friend, when we come home on Shabbat, the first thing we do with Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, you know that Shabbat is the day that we're very, very, there is panic on Friday, because especially in the winter. And on Shabbat there is a big itzahara to fight. There's always, you have to be calm on Friday. On Friday there is always tension. Always there is tension. And as you know, the only way to do is to be quiet. I do my best on Friday not to answer my wife. Even Baruch Hashem, we live in peace, but on Friday there is always tension. Because the Tzahara, he wants that we will not feel Shabbos. That Shabbos will not be in peace. And we have to be, Baruch Hashem, we have to be calm on Friday. We have to be, because otherwise we will lose the name of God in the house, and there'll be machloket, there'll be a fire. So we have to be very, very careful on Friday, especially Friday and during all holidays. Look, the fight that it was between Adam and Chava, it was on Friday. On Friday, Chava, she said to Adam, you have to eat this fruit. And Adam, he didn't want, he said, it's forbidden. And they started to fight. So she forced him to eat. So, from that day, and you know what happened? Then they've been thrown from the paradise. So from that day, every Friday, the Tzara, he tried to bring tension in the house, in the Jewish house. So that's why when we come home, we sing Shalom Aleichem. I mean, peace. Even that sometimes it happened that there is tension with my wife, and when I come home from the synagogue with a big smile, Shalom Aleichem, then then I make her laugh. That's it. We do Shalom. That's it. Don't leave the fight goes on. You have to stop it. You have to stop it. My friend, it's very important that the angels that they saw the fight between Adam and Chava on that Friday, so they saw every Jewish home, Shalom, we sing, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharit, hey angels, come, see, everything is good here. Baruch Hashem. Yes, there is Nerot, we light Nerot, there is light in the house, we respect Nida, look, there is Chala, there is everything, Baruch Hashem, there is Shalom, yes. My friend, you know when Hashem gives the Torah to the Jews, the Ten Commandments, at the end, Hashem said to Moshe, hey, tell them to go to their tent. I mean, my question is, what do you mean, tell them to go to their tent? Why? There is a meaning to think that they will not go to their tent. I mean, it's like go home. Of course they have to go home. Once they receive the Torah, where they want to go? Of course they're going to go home. So why the Torah said that Hashem said to Moshe, Rabbeinu, tell them to go home, to go to their tent? Why? Why? My friend, you have to know something. When Hashem, He gave the Torah to the Jews, it was like a wedding. It was like a wedding, like a Chupan Kiddushin. It's like Hashem, He married the Jews. And the Ketubah is the Torah. Hashem said to the Jews, well, I will be all what you need. I give it to you. I'll be your protector. I give you food. I give you everything. But I want you to respect me. I want you to study Torah. I want you to do Chidushim, to understand the Torah. And this is, my friend, this is a big lesson that Hashem, He wanted to teach the Jews. We have to be in peace. Hashem is saying to the Bnei Israel, it's like I am the father, I am the husband, you're the wife. We have to live in peace. And to live in peace, I have to give my part, you have to give your part. A man and woman, if each one does give his part, there'll be fight. There'll be fight. I give my part, you give your part. And we will live together. Now we'll never let you down. We'll be, and the Gemara said that when Hashem gave the Torah, there was sheket. Kurot Obarkim in sheket. There was a lot of like a lot of big voice, There was a lot of brakim. Brakim is like a standard, like when they the Jews were very, very les tonnerres, les éclairs, like the end of the world. It was very frightening. Lights, it was like a lot of voices, and then everything was quiet, sheket, very quiet. Why? Loud and quiet. And the answer is Hashem wants to teach the Jews something. When things are not good with you, when there is no shalom bayit, when there is no peace, there is screaming and fighting and lightning. Don't carry on. You have to end up with quiet. This is a Jewish home. Jewish home, if you carry on fighting, is the end. And I think that's why Hashem said to the Moshe Rabbeinu, tell the Jews, go now to their tent. That means Hashem wanted to tell the Jews, the same way we've been together now. It's like husband and wife, with quiet, with fight and quiet. That's the way it should be in your home. Now go back home. Live well with your wives. Live nicely. If there is argument, and if there is fighting, you have to do peace, you have to do shalom. You have to bring quiet, you have to bring shalom to the house, yes. You know, I would like to tell you a beautiful story. There was a woman, she was 100 years old, very, very old woman, maybe a little bit less. She went to the rabbis in Bnei Brak, and she decided to divorce her husband. Her husband was very, very old. And the rabbis told her, Madam, but you are a very old woman, and your husband is a very old man. Why you want to divorce? He said, I don't like him anymore. I suffered a lot with him, and I'm afraid that if he dies, I have to sit 7 days on the floor. I have to mourn on him. I hate him so much, I don't want to cry for him. I want to divorce him. I don't want to have any relationship, any kind of pain about him. Terrible. How a man can be bad like that to his wife, until his wife, at that age, she wanted to divorce him, not to cry for him or to sit 7 days on the floor and to do a month in the year of Hezger, of Yizkor for him. She don't want to remember, to think of him. Terrible. Terrible. How much Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu, tell the Jews to go to their tent. Who is in the tent? The children. Education. Vigata libincha. Teach the children. There is Torah, there is Hashem. Yes. Now we understand the connection between Matan Torah, when Hashem gives the Torah to the Jews in the mountain of Sinai, and a wedding between a man and woman. Now, Hashem, he gave an experience to the Jews. Here's the experience how you have to live in the house. Your house should be a Jewish home. Family and God as well in the house. Teach the children quiet, shalom, peace, respect all the Jewish law between the man and the woman. What is forbidden between the man and the woman, don't do it. You do your best, I help you. And that's why we have to remember every day what Bil'am, the advice that Bil'am gave to Balak about the Jews and the woman. This is something that the only way that a Jew can have Hashem with him in his house, when the relationship between him and his wife are holy. Otherwise it's a problem. That's what Bil'am wanted to do. He wanted to break up the rules of the holiness of a Jewish home. And this is the problem. Look, Abraham Abinu, how he behaved with Sarah, with Yitzhak, with Rivka, Yaakov and Rachel and Leah. Look, and all of them, they are buried in Ma'arat HaMachpelah. Who's there? In Ma'arat HaMachpelah, Adam and Chava. Why did he choose to be with Adam and Chava? Because Adam and Chava is a symbolic. What is symbolic? Symbolic. If Adam and Chava will remain in shalom, they will not do the sin. Because they fight it. Chava, she fight it, Adam. So that's famous Friday. So Adam was worried and he eat from the forbidden tree, and look what we suffer today. But on one hand, we learn from Adam and Chava what we should not do. On the other hand, we should learn from Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, and their wives, the way we have to do, the way we have to live like them, and it's a big learning that we should do. Unfortunately, my friend, today, as you know, how many fights there is today, how many thousands of divorce, for nothing. If a man will learn from experience what can keep him together with his wife. From who can he learn? From Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov, from the Tzaddikim, from the Torah. It's beautiful to live with peace in the house. I remember one day, it was on Kippur, I didn't behave well anyway. And I had a little fight in my house. And then when I went to the yeshiva, I felt myself that I was not really a good image for the Jews to give them, to pray and to give them a drasha, to give them a lecture. Then I had to go home and I said to my wife, I'm sorry, it's Kippur today and I don't want to be a liar. I don't want to tell people what I'm not. So forgive me. That's it. And Baruch Hashem, then I went to the shul and I was very happy. When there is shalom, there is happiness. When there is no shalom, there is no happiness. Friday is the most dangerous day of every Jewish family. Because on Friday we are in a hurry. Friday we prepare Shabbat and we are exciting. There is tension on Friday. So you have to be careful. And the Tzahara, he take the opportunity to bring fire, to fight between a man and his wife on Friday. So on Friday night, they will not sing Shalom Aleichem. Because Shalom Aleichem only when there is peace, when there is Shalom. But when there is no Shalom Aleichem. So, Be'ezat Hashem, and that's what Bil'am, he wanted to destroy. He wanted to destroy the unity of the family. He wanted that Jewish people, they will do bad things with other women. That they will not be a family, a Jewish family together. And that we have to remember every day. What Bil'am wanted to do to us. So we'll be careful. God bless you and have good Shabbos.
على ربيع حيم بنتو وقف لنا زي خو